Hey everyone, this is Matt from End Sickness. I've seen lots of people heal from chronic illnesses, and there's one common thread that once all the symptoms disappear, the physical symptoms, they realize that there's emotional trauma and things that happened in the past and just emotional instability that's at the root of everything. And they realize that in that moment, that's all that's left. Yeah, there's no physical symptoms, that's great, but there are still emotional instabilities that have been there since childhood often and before they got sick. And in that moment, they realize that this is more than likely what caused them to get sick in the first place, not addressing these emotions, that leading to counterproductive behaviors that were not beneficial to their health, and then it spiraling and compounding and turning into this chronic illness. So I do want to stress, emotions, specifically repressed emotions, things that are not addressed, that are stuffed beneath the surface in the subconscious, and those build up over time and eventually cause people to make decisions that compromise their health, and they end up in a situation where they have a chronic illness and they neglect the concept of these repressed emotions. Instead, what they do is they go ahead and simply just keep repressing them further and further and further until they're forced to deal with the manifestation of these chronic illness symptoms. And they get locked in this cycle thinking that emotions are not tied into it, and that's all this physical thing that they need to fix with medication. It's all this thing that they need to fix with supplements. It's nothing to do with the way they're thinking. It's nothing to do with their inability to cope with certain emotional traumas in the past. There's people that have never coped with childhood traumas that they just carried with all their life, and it colored everything that they've been looking at. I'm one of them. When my dad left when I was younger, I became constantly seeking other people to be around because I couldn't be alone. And I felt like there was something wrong with me because I was kind of left behind, and I diagnosed with various different things when I was young, so I always felt something was wrong with me, and that followed me everywhere. It would basically colored everything I looked at my whole life. And I realized that these repressed emotions I had, I didn't address them until much later, and if I didn't, I would have never fully healed. But the repressed emotions were so strong, and they had built up for so long that they manifested in this illness, in these symptoms that ended up just basically compounding and affecting my neurological system and making my immune system perceive more and more danger around it, making it more and more reactive, making it more and more unstable, making the body more and more out of whack. And next thing you know, I have symptoms that are popping up, and now I'm trying to self-medicate through foods and avoidance and distraction and substances and whatever, and there you go, right? So long story short, the emotions were the center of it. If you're dealing with chronic health issues, you can't forget the emotional side of it, and you got to observe your emotional triggers. What I do is I work with people and have them put together a emotional log, the main things that trigger them over the course of a day, 3, 4, 5 things, whatever it is each day, and we see the patterns. What are the storylines behind these triggers? What are the things you keep saying to yourself? Why are we continuing to repeat the same triggers? What is this attached to? What happened in the past that this reminds you of? What did that then make you feel like? Oh, did that make you feel like the same things that your childhood trauma did? I mean, there's lots of things that we figure out and explore and realize that these feelings, these triggers that we're having emotionally in the moment are because of past emotions that we never addressed. And we're just reminded of it consistently whenever we're experiencing these things in our environment. So thanks for watching, everybody. I got more videos like this talking about repressed emotions, overcoming these mental blocks, these subconscious blocks, being able to overcome these for the purpose of healing, both mentally, physically, and spiritually. And thanks for watching. Visit my page, endsickness.org, for more information.